Hey, what's going on? I am Dudley, and uh, what is this? A week? 2 weeks later? I'm not sure exactly if this was. I'm not even exactly sure about the timeline with everything. But I wanted to talk about a class I took, which is with my own company, and it should have been. I feel as though that I should have had better knowledge of the class, working for it, doing the social media and stuff like that. But the Refuge Medical Responder 3 class that I took was an amazing experience. And uh, it, it was definitely tough. It was pushing the pace uh, for not only me, but everyone that was in the class. It was pushing your mental pace. It was keeping your heart rate up. See that part of things I was used to. I'm used to keeping calm under pressure. With all my occupations that I've ever had, it's staying focused, keeping calm. From if we're going backwards, from truck driving to professional MMA fighter, to working for the telephone company, doing all of these different things where danger is looking you right in the face, and you have to make split second decisions to make sure that you're able to go home after you're done. But what if it's not you that's the one that's in trouble, in peril? What? How many of you have dealt with a situation where there's gunshots going off? If you're not necessarily in the military, or if you are a police officer or something like that, it's very rare that you would have to deal with gunfire. Then, if you do deal with gunfire, you're usually getting shot at, which is something that's happened to me before, and or you're just a bystander with not much of an ability to respond to that threat. There have been plenty of times when I was working security back in New Jersey, Deco Lounge, Club Abyss, various go-go bars, or different things like that. Or uh, when I did bodyguard work, there was never a danger that came our way, at least not perceived. But when I was working at the different nightclubs, there were shootings, there were fights, there were people ran over by cars, there were people ODing, there were people with alcohol intoxication, there were people that fell off of a bar and cut their head open, or people dancing on the furniture, slip and fall, and now they're bleeding. What do you do? Like, oh, well, you just pick them up, carry them outside, and then call the ambulance. The EMS service was right across the road when I worked at Deco and Abyss, and they would get there in like 5 minutes from across the roadway. And then there were those times where people would get hit by a motor vehicle. What do you do? For me, there was, I don't know why she was there at the club, but there was this pregnant girl that was out with her friends, and she got hit by a car and went flying over the traffic light. And me, being one of the heads of security, had to get all of my staff focusing on point, stopping people from running out in the roadway, stopping traffic, trying to console her, talk her through what's going on. but not touching her because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the training to know what to do. Then people are calling 911, and that time is ticking. Oh, holding on my watch. That time is ticking, and you feel helpless because you don't know. Oh, you took a CPR class. Well, this isn't something that you need to perform CPR on. They're bleeding out. They have trauma. They have road rash. There's so many different things that's going on, and with that situation, there wasn't even gunshots going on. There are plenty of times where there were gunshots going on. Once we stopped the threat, uh, we just waited for the ambulance. And a lot of the times, it wasn't even us stopping a threat, it was our presence being there. And then the threat was not intent on killing us. They were just trying to make a point or a statement and get away before the police or EMS or something would get there. And there would be a few people with some holes in them. What do? Talk to them and say, hey, everything's going to be okay. Keep the crowd back. But they're laying right there bleeding out because they were shot. And myself and my staff, we didn't know what to do. So people died where they didn't need to. Come across car accidents, especially when there's a lot of traffic built up. You see that a lot as a truck driver. There's vehicles or multiple pileups and people screaming, and all you could do is just shift gears and keep on driving because you aren't the responder. Somewhere back there, there's some flashing lights that's coming, and they're gonna be there to save that person. Do you even carry a medical kit? What's in your medical kit? Do you have any training on your medical kit? Like me, I carried Band-Aids, some gauze, and that was it. Tourniquet, what do I need a tourniquet for? There was no knowledge to know that I needed something like that. And now, being a part of what I am a part of now, it is a mind-numbing thing that this isn't taught to everyone. Like basic first aid should be taught to everyone. Tactical first aid should be taught or at least offered up to people that need to know it. We're putting out a product that the military doesn't even get. Like there's very few that attempt to do what it is that we do, and we like just thinking back at the class, like the different scenarios that you would have to go through and those decisions of life and death. Like what do you do? Like there's people on the ground bleeding out, but there's still a gunman further ahead. What do? Do you sit in the corner and hold your head and hope that you're not going to be the next one? Do you render aid while bullets are still being fired at you? Or do you neutralize that threat and then get back to those casualties, render aid, save as many lives as possible after you had to take a life? What do? Bam. There you go. More gunfire is going off. Oh, you didn't get everyone. there's more people shooting at you. And you just started to render aid. And now you have someone that's focused in on you, trying to save their life, but you have to put their life on hold, putting it back in their hands because you have to go stop the threat that is potentially threatening you, and you might not know where it's coming from. You might not know how long it's going to take you to get there. You might not know if you're going to make it out of there. There's a door. You can run out the door, but what is that going to do? Are your children involved? Is your significant other involved? What are you going to do in that situation? Are you training to your level of advancement, or are you training to your level of failure? Like, I thought I was good. I know how to fight. I know how to shoot a gun. I know how to apply a tourniquet. I know CPR. I know all of these things, but I never had to render aid to someone while I was in the middle of a fight. Never had to do that. There wasn't even a situation where that would be necessary. In training, if someone got hurt, okay, everyone stop. We're gonna figure out this together as a group, or maybe we call EMS and they'll get there. They'll take care of the problem. There was never I'm throwing punches. Now bullets are flying. Now people are bleeding. And now I have to render aid. But first, I got to stop that threat. Never had to deal with anything like that. And that's a reality check where never thought I would have to do anything like that. But it's preparing me better for my family. It's preparing me for this life path that I'm going down. It's preparing me for the things that we're doing with Grindstone Ministries. It is preparing me to be able to tell someone why they need this security and protection for those kids that are in school. If one person was able to be at one of these situations, to be able to save a life, to be able to put a tourniquet on someone, to be able to keep people calm while chaos is going on, to make a plan. There's a problem over there. We need to go over here. If someone was there just to make that plan, instead of people just pulling out their cell phones, recording, or just being paralyzed with the chaos of, oh no, maybe they're coming for me next, when all you have to do is just get up and go that way. Problems over there, get up and go that way. Not everyone is going to go to the fight. Not everyone has that mindset that, well, today might be that day. I'm going out in a blaze of glory. But Responder 3 is something serious from Refuge Medical. This isn't an ad. This isn't a sales pitch or anything like that. It is like tactical medicine is something that you do not need to know how to do until you need to know how to do it. Like I grew up in an urban area where there was gang violence. There were people getting shot. When I was in high school, I was all over the place in high school. I played high school football. I was associated with different gang cultures in my high school. I was a captain at a chess club. I was one of the leads on a robotics team. I was friends with everyone. Then one day, when I'm supposed to be going to the library, to go play chess, and people I'm hanging with, we all see someone that we have a problem with, we got beef with, they go around the block. Then as we're walking up to 7th Street, 7th and Park Avenue in Plainfield, New Jersey, they hop out the vehicle. I'm in the front of the group, and guy comes out, pat, 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 pat. I'm not hit. People directly behind me are shot. It clicks in my mind a moment or two later, I need to run. Just left them there. I'm a high school kid. I don't have the ability to return fire. It wasn't about that life. Like, fight, I could do that. I wasn't one of those kids that was carrying a gun to school. That wasn't me. I didn't get to that point of like the urban life or something like that. But when I left that situation, we all scattered. I ended up going to the library, getting on the phone with my mother and crying. But what if that was me? Or what if we as a family, we went to a class like this, like the Responder 3, and we were able to deal with situations like this. Okay, the person got shot. I got off the X, and then the bullet stopped flying. I went in, grabbed them, got them out of danger, and was able to start rendering first aid. What if high school kids were taught that? What if kids younger than that was taught that? Why isn't it happening? Oh, you don't want to put your kids through traumatic stuff like that. They don't need to do that. Oh, you don't need security guards in school. Oh, you don't need armed security in school. But there are problems and there are threats out there in the world that are not getting taken care of. They're just getting ignored. Who's going to deal with it? Who's going to respond to that problem? Are you going to stand up and be vigilant to whatever's going on around you? Or are you going to just bury your head in the sand and like, well, it's not me. It's not my problem. It's not my fight. I don't got to deal with it. But what happens when it comes to your door? Most of you watching this, you drive a car. You know, there are accidents every day. You do your best to avoid it, but that person over there is on their cell phone, not paying attention. That person over there is eating behind the wheel, and they just spilled their coffee all over them. And they're driving, their hands are up, and they're looking for something to wipe up that coffee. And their vehicle is aimed right at you. Boom. There's that accident. What are you going to do? Are you prepared for that? Are you ready to render aid to your family? What if it's not you in the accident? You're driving, out the corner of your eye, you see an accident happen. What are you going to do? Are you just going to pull out your phone and record? Are you going to call 911? Are you going to hop out of your vehicle and start rendering aid because you have the training and the equipment to go save a life? What are you going to do? Once I started to know and understand my purpose, I was that one going to help, to hop out of my vehicle and go try and save someone's life. But I didn't have any skills to do any of that. No. I was just somebody that wanted to help out. Oh, it's a person in an accident. Maybe I can help them get out of a vehicle. All right. That's about all that I knew how to do. I wasn't carrying any medical equipment when I would see people get in car accidents. Didn't carry a tourniquet. Didn't even know if I was going to make it worse or not trying to pull them out of a vehicle. Didn't know that because I didn't have the training, but I knew that I wanted to help. Now that I have the training, I have the tools, I have the equipment, I have the gauze, I have the March algorithm of what I need to do to check so I can save someone's life. I want to be counted in that number to be able to help someone, and they'll remember me for the rest of their life because I saved their life. Well, hopefully I never have to do it, but I want to be able to make that happen. I've responded to car accidents. What did I do? Put some gauze on a woman's head? Got some kids out of a turned over car where the kids are hanging upside down. That nobody was really hurt. They were shaken mentally. That's about it. But nobody had a broken arm, broken leg, a punctured artery, bleeding out. Didn't have to deal with that. But now I know what to do, how to deal with all of that stuff. Maybe I even need to take that class again, possibly sometime next year, so I can really test my mindset, because getting punched in the face is easy. Keeping calm under that's fine. I can do that any day, whether I'm feeling good, bad, or indifferent. That's my normal, as one could say. But having to deal with that stress, and having to save someone's life, keeping calm with that, or even saving my own life and defending myself while I'm trying to save my own life. Blood is pumping out. I have a gun in my hand. I'm shot in the arm. I'm trying to get this tourniquet on. Oh, I got shot in the leg too. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared to stay in the fight? Or are you just going to lay down and give up? It's not for me. Everyone that I'm around now is willing to fight to the death, because the Father has ordained us, brought us from all around this country together to do what it is that we do. None of us are from here, not at all. Why were we called to come out here? None of us was doing anything like this. None of us were EMTs. None of us were doctors. Some of us had military, police, security experience. I'm the only one with fight experience. Like, what am I supposed to do in all of that, except for be the example that the Father made me to be, to help you understand, so that you can help save someone's life, so you can shine to them. Hey, like, you're driving around in a car without a first aid kit. Hey, there's this company you should go check out, Refuge Medical. You can piecemeal a kit together if you can't afford one outright. But this is stuff that you need. If you say that you love someone and you don't have a plan to save their life, do you really love that person? Like, what is it? What are we doing here? Like, what type of game is this? There should be a better understanding with everyone, like knowing your medical history, being able to help someone's clenching their chest. They're an older person or had heart problems or something like that. Are you able to recognize, oh, someone has a necklace on and that might be a pill bottle? If they have heart problems, they might have some, what are those? Not nitrogen pills, something, I can't think of the name of it, but the stuff that will stop a heart attack. But usually people will wear a necklace like that that have those pills around their neck? Do you know to look out for that? Do you know how to check someone's pulse? Like, do you know where to look at on their wrist to check their pulse? Not many people do. So it's just the little things that you should pay attention to in your life and start to pivot so you can know how to protect your life and protect the lives of those that's around you, because the evil is behind every door. And if you're not prepared for it, you're going to fail at life. So that's about it for me. I've rambled on for long enough. Shalom.